Al's giving her flack because he wants her to be more black.
I call her an Oreo. She's black on the outside, white in the inside.
But when he had a blind date,
She's a bigger Oreo than I am, okay?
he lightened up.
The first place we stopped is the beauty supply shop to help pick out a blonde hair color for him.
Now that she's had a blind date,
Never remark about the Oreo cookie. You know, I love Oreos.
will he learn to savor her flavor?
I can eat Oreos all
I love
day.
Oreos too.
Or have a change of heart?
Chris Jagger, welcome to Change of Heart. Now, this is the show where couples come to test the waters with someone new and then decide if it's worth staying in their current relationship or moving on. So let's meet today's couple. Now, they met in a clothing store. She was working hard trying to sell him clothes, and he was working hard trying to sell himself. Well, he didn't give up until she finally broke down and bought into him. That was 4 months ago, and they've been a hot item ever since. Please welcome Amina Palmer and Al Smith. Welcome to the show, and I understand you guys are here because you're concerned that your relationship is going out of style. Just not happening. Now, Amina, let me start with you. I understand when you first met Al and you first saw him, there was no love at first sight there at all, was there?
Not really. It's basically like a stalker. He just pretty much
What? Stalker?
pursued me and kept coming in to visit me, and he's really nice and funny and great personality.
And he was persistent about it, though. I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Al, what was it?
And he kind of looks like Prince to me, so I kind of like that.
You think?
Like Prince now. Oh my God.
Al, what was it about Amina that made you just keep going after it?
Man, I mean, she's gorgeous. When I first saw her, she's like a beat of honey, man. I was hooked. I mean, I couldn't let it get away. Come on.
Okay. Now, Amina, if you look back, obviously you were flattered, I would think, by his persistent flirtation.
He's basically, I think you should join Flirters Anonymous because he's such a Mac daddy, as they say. So I think that basically would try.
This is cold. I'm not no Mac daddy.
Now, what about in
How
public?
he's sitting. That's how a Mac daddy
Well,
sits.
he's
Is it
casual.
not?
He's just relaxing and all.
I'm just relaxing like I always do. I mean, come on.
Al, do you think you're being disrespectful, like you're too flirtatious when you guys are out together?
Oh, come on, she be ambushing me, man. I mean, it's like, I'm telling you, when we're out, before the girl even gets into the room, she spotted her out, and she's got one eye on the girl and one eye on me, wondering what I'm gonna do. You know?
I already know.
Well, she knows.
I know, the end of the story. He's
What are you
gonna
saying?
break
It's too
his neck.
predictable.
He's going to break his neck trying to look
Why?
at her.
Because I look around?
Now, Al, Amina calls you a big flirt. What do you call her?
I call her an Oreo because, I mean, she's... Come on.
An
Explain
Oreo.
that one.
She's black on the outside, white in the inside.
Which means...
I mean, it's like when we're out, hanging out with our friends or whatever, she's just trying to fit in, pretty much, you know, and you can tell she's starving to fit in. You know, it's not natural. So I got to play referee between me and her and my friends to try and keep her happy.
And Amina, what about Al?
He acts really different around his friends. He thinks he's LL Cool Al.
LL Cool Al. Oh, so now you're dogging me out, right?
He acts totally different. His
where we go
language
with this.
changes, and he seems like he just came out of a rap video or something. Kind of bugs me.
But when he's one-on-one with you, it's a lot different.
It's different.
It should be different, right?
Yeah. Now, LL Cool L, is that about right? Does that sum it up?
No, that's far from what it should be.
So you're saying you're not that different?
No, I mean,
I mean, if you had one
Totally
word,
different.
I mean, if you had one word to sum up Al's date plans, what would that word be?
Boring.
I'm boring?
Because not you're boring, but what we do is boring because we basically just sit at his house and play dominoes and spades and Sony PlayStation with his friends.
Yeah,
We don't do that. I do that. We go out. I do that.
Not really.
I mean, you come over, you hang with
Once
me,
in a
but I mean,
while.
we go out, we go to the movies, we go to the beach. We go out all the time. What do you mean?
She's
All the
looking for
time.
some romancing, I think.
She tripping.
Amina, why are you ready to date and test the relationship?
Because I'm basically looking for a future with someone, and I feel like Al isn't that serious about me.
So you don't know if he's the future or not.
About me, basically.
All right. Well, that's what we're going to find out. Are Al and Amina's issues just too black and white? We're going to find that out later. Next, though, we're going to meet their dates, so stay here. With Amina and Al. Now, Al says that Amina cramps his style and that she can't stand his roving eyes. So he set him up with a sexy, sassy woman who says that she keeps her men standing at attention. Her name is Nancy Wallace. Say hello to Nancy. Amina, what do you think? Does Nancy look like somebody that Al would typically
She's a
flirt
bigger
with?
Oreo than I am, okay?
I wouldn't say that if I was you. I mean, you don't know all that right now.
Al, do I got this right? This is the first blind date that you've ever been on?
First blind date and the best blind date. I mean, this is great. We had a wonderful time.
All right, so you really don't have anything to compare it to. But before we hear what they did do, Amina, would you be upset and be a little bit bothered by the fact that he planned some amazing date with this girl?
I would be extremely surprised, is what I would be.
You'd expect him to be home with PlayStation and Domino's. And so,
Yeah.
Al, what was the deal? First blind date, what was the master plan?
Master plan was I just showed up. No plan pretty much at all.
There you go.
That's not surprising.
So, Nancy, you're doing this big, ultra unplanned blind date. What was the first stop?
Well, first off, he did show up 45 minutes late.
Good start, Al.
Oh, come on now.
But once we got things rolling, the first place we stopped was the beauty supply shop to
Traffic.
help pick out a blonde hair color for him.
For him.
For him.
Al, what were you doing picking out blonde hair colors? Is this true?
Well, I mean, we talked about it on the telephone, and she agreed that she would go out and help me look for a color because I had my hair dyed blonde once, and I was going to dye it again. And you can see her hair is blonde, and she did a really good job matching the color, so she was going to help me match my complexion.
So you thought that'd be a good match.
Yeah.
So, Nancy, what did you do after the beauty store? Wax his back or what?
No, none of that. No, we decided to go to Universal Studios, and that seemed like a great idea until we got there.
You were going to do the tour?
Yeah, we were going to do the tour and everything, and we got there, and I discovered I had to pay my own way because
Spent all the money on the color?
I forgot my ATM card, okay? I mean, I figured that if she paid one time, then I could take care of the rest of the day because I had money on me, but I just didn't know if I had enough to cover the whole day.
I see. Amina, do you say this is typical Al behavior?
I think for a guy, better to have too much money than too little. It looks a lot better.
Yeah, I would hope so. You'd be a little bit prepared.
I mean, yeah, it's always better to have, but when something comes up and it's not happening, it's just not happening.
Now, Nancy, you're at a crowded place.
Improvise.
You're out there with Al. Did you notice the roving eye?
No, I didn't notice that at all. The only place he looked was at me.
Checking you out.
Well, we all know, Chris, on a first date, everyone's on their best behavior, okay? Sooner or
I'm on
later,
my best
the truth
behavior
always comes
all
out.
the time.
We'll
I
see.
mean, it's not a first date. I'm always on my best behavior. She just be tripping.
Now, Nancy, Nancy, at this point, you learned a few things about his planning skills. Did you learn anything else?
Well, I learned that he's a bit of a baby.
A little bit of a baby?
We went on the Terminator 3D ride, and he was in there ducking and dodging and screaming and yelling.
Acting all scared.
Yeah, and I was just kind of sitting there. But that was cool.
First of
All
all,
right, so you guys are hanging out in the park for a while, but I'm assuming you're going to have hunger pains or kicking in at some point. Did you have enough cash to take her to dinner?
first of all, let's back up 1 second, okay?
Wow.
I'm not a baby. That movie was very realistic. I mean, hey, come on, dude. You got on the 3D glasses. It looks like the stuff on the screen is coming at you. That's the first time I ever saw a 3D movie in my life. So,
okay, what about dinner?
It was realistic.
All right, there,
to me.
Hercules. What about dinner?
All right, for dinner, I figured, it's the end of the day. I had about $20 in my pocket. I figured we'd go back to Roscoe's, grab some chicken and waffles.
You took her to Roscoe's? That's my
Give her
favorite
a-
place. That's kind of rude.
Hey, we went to Roscoe's.
Roscoe's a very famous place out here.
Yeah, leave a little tip and I'll be straight.
So, Nancy, I understand that you have a degree in
Little tip.
psychology.
I had a little money.
Did you get some insight into Al's personality?
Well, I noticed that he appeared to be a little desperate for a long-term relationship or some kind of connection because he did ask me some
Desperate?
deep...
Come on now, hold on. Al is not desperate.
Well, she said you went deep on her.
Yeah, he did mention something about marriage. He asked me about what my ideal dream house would look like, and he did ask me if I wanted a long-term relationship. So.
Now, Al, did you know you were going to come off as desperate?
No, I didn't. I mean, I was just kind of asking her questions, trying to fill her out, seeing what kind of person she was. We're hanging out all day. I want to know who I'm hanging out with.
All right. Fair enough. Nancy, what about the date? Was there any point where you felt pressured by Al at all?
Well, when he dropped me off after the date, he did ask to come upstairs and use my phone. And considering that, I was kind of worried he might be making a little move there.
Come on now,
but
just use it for?
Wait, let me ask Amina.
He was calling his next date is what he was doing.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you, what do you think his motive was?
Who was my next date?
I don't know. Wasn't
Al?
me.
Well, now be honest. Who were you going to call at that point? You just ended the date. Who did you have to call?
Actually, you know what? I had a great time that day, so I wanted to hurry up and call my friend who was at home, kind of waiting to hear the details.
That's soon.
I mean, I wanted to call and let him know I had a wonderful time, and I couldn't wait to get home.
I'm just thinking it was a way to get into the apartment. But.
And I also wanted to try and convince her to not go to work and kind of go out dancing with me, too.
I see. So now we get the truth. So, Nancy, after the phone call, did he behave himself?
Well, after he made his phone call, he did give me a kiss that was a little long and a hug that was a little close.
You gave her a kiss?
But, you know, that's just because it was the first date, so.
Okay. Nancy,
gave her a kiss.
Overall, since it was his first blind date and it was unplanned and it was sort of carefree, how would you rate it?
I think it went very well. Our personalities matched great. Conversation flowed very smoothly. I mean, basically, we didn't need a plan to have a good time.
So all in all, a good time. All right. Will Al have a change of heart or maybe another change of hair color? I don't know. We're going to find out later. Next, though, we're going to meet Amina's date, so stay here. We'll meet Amina's date. She wanted a guy who could keep his eyes focused on her and make her his main priority. So we found her a man with 20/20 vision and a guy that makes his dates his #1 priority. Please welcome Robert Wickman. Hello, Robert. Good to see you. Al, what do you think? Does Robert look like he could be the apple of Amina's eye?
No, Rico Suave look cool over here. What? I'm not hating.
Now, Amina, as far as your date went, did Robert show up with a plan?
He certainly did.
Unlike Al's unplanned date. Mm-hmm. And what was that? Was that a good thing, or?
It was a good thing. I like to know what I'm up to that night and kind of have something in mind instead of just sitting around.
Boring.
Right. All right, well, let's hear from Robert if it was boring or not. What'd you have planned?
Well, I talked to her on the phone, and she sounded really nice and really classy, so I wanted to come up there with a really nice, classy ride. So got my friend to hook me up with a nice car, really classy car. Mm-hmm. Got up there a little early because I wanted to be on time. So I hung out in front of her house for a couple minutes, and right precisely on time.
And Amina, did you know he was sitting out front there for a little while?
No, but I thought it's so weird that someone shows up exactly at the time of the date. He was there at 6:01. Doorbell rang. Ding dong.
And you weren't used to that. Did he come empty-handed, or did he bring a little something?
No, he had a gift for me. I thought that was so sweet.
What did he bring?
What did he bring? Candy, flowers, and a card.
The whole works. Yeah. Al, hello. Are you taking notes? You paying attention?
I'm taking notes. I mean, you can do that kind of stuff if you want to, if you're trying to impress somebody. But, I mean, if you are who you are, you just go as you are.
That's how I am, bro.
Who cars you borrow? Who cars you borrow if that's how you are? You fronting to me? No. You ain't got a car.
Now, Amina, at this point, you feeling pretty comfortable? He's doing pretty well with you?
Very well.
Nice car.
Invite him in the house.
I can do well with somebody else's stuff, too.
Me, I mean,
Yeah, go ahead, Amina. You invited him in the house?
Invited him in, and we sat down and talked for a while so we could get to know each other better before we went to dinner. So we did that.
And Robert, could you tell you're scoring some points here right off the bat?
Not right away. She seemed a little cold, at first. Seemed a little cold, but I figure it's a long date and everything, and maybe she'll warm up to me a little later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense, because she said you did all the right things, but you're feeling like you're doing the wrong thing or whatever.
Well, I wasn't sure really what was going on, really, if she was going to warm up to me. But we talked about some personal things when we were eating, and I think she warmed up to me after that.
What kind of personal things, bruh?
Personal.
Just personal.
That's exactly what it means.
Were you being a little defensive? Did you have your guard up?
So we keep it secret.
That all came down. No.
Okay.
No.
Well, it shouldn't be that personal.
Well, what happened, Amina? You were...
That wall came down when we started. He told me that he canceled his trip for Vegas to go on a date with me. So I thought that was very nice and considerate.
So you were impressed. Now, Al, you and your friends are going to Vegas. Would you be bagging the trip just to hang out with Amina?
If I was going to Vegas, would I be bagging the trip to hang out with Amina? Probably not.
Oh, well, at least you're honest.
I'm going to Vegas.
Amina, what else was...
Typical.
What else impressed you about Robert?
That he was very intelligent, and he wasn't a big flirt, and didn't break his neck trying to look at other girls when he's on a date with me. So
he stayed true. He was focused on you. And what about you, Robert? Were you equally as impressed with Amina?
Well, at first she seemed a little materialistic. You know, she was talking about living in Beverly Hills, and you know, she's very fashion conscious. But I can't fault the girl for having goals.
I asked him. He's asked me if I'd ever live in LA. I said only if I could live in
Goes
Beverly
deeper
Hills.
than that, bro.
No.
He was just scratching the surface a little bit. All right, so you guys had dinner. Robert, what happened afterwards?
Well, we were at dinner. We had a nice conversation, and I wasn't sure she was warming up to me the way I wanted her to. So I wanted to go dancing, but I figured, well, let me talk to her a little bit more. So we went and played video games and went people watching.
It's because I got a rap, bro.
That can be kind of fun. Amina, was that good for you? Was that fun?
Yeah, I love people watching, and it was nice to see that he wasn't overexerting himself, trying to look at other girls and breaking his neck.
You were watching people together, at least, so that's a little bit different. All right. And was it good that he was moving a little bit slow, making sure everything was okay?
Yes, he was a perfect gentleman.
So you like that? All right.
Yeah.
And they respect that. And Robert, is she right with her assessment of what was going on?
Well, the people watching that he's talking about, you know, looking at other people, I wasn't doing that.
How you know? You seen me look at other people before?
I heard you on last segment. I was respecting her, you know, and we were people watching together, you know, and I was basically looking at her. You know?
Now, Robert, one of the issues that Al has with Amina is the not comfortable with the friends, you know, the friends over the house and all that. Did you get any impression or any take on that at all?
No, she seemed comfortable with everyone. She was real comfortable with me after a while, and then she treated everyone the same, you know?
Respectful all the way around.
Right. And,
all right. Amina, now, is Al way off base? I mean, do you think...
No, some of his friends are a major trip. You'd have to see for yourself. I mean, one of his friends, the first time he ever met me, he said, "When can I suck your toe ring off?" I mean, you don't say that.
That's an interesting one to lay on somebody else.
That's not me, that's my friend.
Well, Amina, what about you? Did you think you came off with a new experience from being out with Robert?
Yes, I did.
So it was refreshing, it was different, it was
refreshing.
What? Anything new from it?
Yes, I came away from the fact of feeling that more secure, and not that he was going to be out looking at girls all the time like Al does.
So much more comfortable feeling.
And you know, and that remark about the Oreo cookie, you know, I love Oreos.
Yeah.
I can eat Oreos all day.
I love Oreos too, bro.
Okay. Robert, what about the end of the date? Did you give her anything?
Well, when we were walking, you know, people watching and walking around playing video games, we went and saw some nice bracelets, and we bought some bracelets.
Matching, see?
No, look at that. You guys got matching bracelets on. All right. Well, Amina and Al have a change of heart. During the break, they've got to make a decision. We're going to come back and find out if they're going to change of heart or stay together, so stay here. Truth, because during the break, Amina and Al each made a final decision about their relationship. Now, they said although their past was passionate, that their future is rather uncertain. She doesn't like the crowd that he hangs with, and he doesn't like the way she cramps his style. So we're going to get decisions now, and Al, we're going to start with you. You seem to really adore Amina. You got some good things going on there, but you're afraid she might be smothering the true you. You had a really good time with Nancy, but let's get your decision. What do you say?
Well, I mean, I had a really good time with Nancy. We went out, we had fun. And I enjoyed every minute of it. It was very relaxed. As far as Amina, me and Amina, we have a past, and I think that's going to be a little bit more important right now at this point. And I think that I can work on, you know, making that relationship a lot more relaxed. So I decided we're going to stay together.
Stay together. Gonna give it a shot. Nancy, sorry things didn't work out for you. All right, Amina, let's go and get your decision now. Al says he wants to stay together. You guys have been together for about 4 months now. You had a nice change of pace, obviously, with Robert. That was a whole different kind of feel. Your decision, what do you say?
Well, I had a really fun date with Robert, and it was like a breath of fresh air to be treated with respect and not have someone breaking their neck looking at other women. And I really enjoy Al as a person. I think he's really nice. But the fact that he kissed Nancy, I have a change of heart.
Oh! Change of heart. All right, Robert, does that work for you?
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Well, hopefully by you guys coming on the show, obviously the differences that you do have were a little bit too much at this point. And Al, you know, cool Al, I think you'll be fine. Somebody out there more suited for you, you'll be okay. And good luck to you guys in the new relationship here. That is our show for today. Thanks to Al and Nancy. And good luck to Amina and Robert. We'll see you next time on Change of Heart.